turn our attention to the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline and this week's edition of What It's Worth. And, of course, it is with Barry Blank from National Estate Jewelry Buyers in East Brunswick. Good morning, Barry. Welcome back. How are you today?
I am wonderful after a weekend up in Milton, New York at Buttermilk Spa.
What exactly was happening there?
Oh, we got a couple of massages and escaped from reality.
Sounds nice. Not bad.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Really beautiful.
They put those stones on your back, and did you evaluate the stones
We
and
got
the value of the
stones.
stones?
Those stones didn't get evaluated. They evaluated us, I think.
Gotcha. Nice. Very good. Well, good to have you back, of course. And for this week, we're going to talk about estate jewelry. And when people hear the word estate, Barry, all of a sudden, they kind of have images of what the estate means. But really, if I was to buy a used or a pre-owned car, if I called it an estate car, it just sounds that much more special, doesn't it?
That's right. As a matter of fact, they actually use that with the high-end cars. You're buying an estate-certified Rolls-Royce. It sounds much better. You're buying a used Rolls-Royce. Hey, used Chevy is okay, but an estate Chevy, hey, you got something.
It was used to motor around the mansion there. Exactly. Right.
Right. It's all in the presentation. The product has to be great, but it has to sound like something you want to buy. You don't want to buy a used engagement ring. You just don't.
Yeah.
So,
but an estate ring, now we're talking about something that sounds special there, right?
It sounds really special. And the thing is, many people, when they hear the word estate, they think, wow, this is going to be really expensive. It's just quite the opposite in most cases. See, the word estate refers to previously owned. If you could go into a store and buy something today, and if you decide to sell it in the near future after you purchase it, it automatically becomes estate jewelry.
So there's it doesn't have to be X number of owners or X numbers of years, just as long as one person previously owned it.
Right. Now, what comes into play here is some rule about antique. Now, antique has a definition. And in international travel, when you're going from country to country, they use the term an antique for 100 years old. Okay? We additionally use the word vintage. Now, vintage means it could be from an era, let's say mid-century, 1940s to 1960s, Victorian, 1900 to 1880 to 1920, Deco, 1930s, etc. And that word vintage is very classy, and it brings to mind Clark Gable, the 1930s, the Empire State Building, vintage Deco. That's what the jewelry was designed in those eras.
Yeah, it's a word that sounds like people would have a romantic connection to when they hear the word vintage, right?
And that's exactly right, and that's why we have antique shows and antique jewelry and vintage jewelry, because there's a huge demand for it.
Excellent. I'm sure there is. Compare, if you would, Barry, because it seems like, things aren't made the way they used to be. Is that hold true for jewelry also, that a piece, a ring, or a watch or something that was manufactured, 30, 40 years ago versus something that's made today? Is there any change in the quality of the products that you've seen over the years?
Well, there's one major difference is with gold price as high as it is and platinum and silver as high as they are. They've actually changed the manufacturing methods to make the jewelry lighter. So it's still many manufacturers make it very, very well and beautiful. And it's not that it's lower quality; it's that it's in most cases it's still very well made. I'm not going to knock any manufacturing, but I would say that the objects of the past tend to be more solid. I mean, look at a 1950s Dodge DeSoto with the heavy chrome bumpers. And it was a heavier look, but you could pick up a chrome bumpered car with two bumper jacks and pick up the whole car. Today, the bumpers are made of plastic.
Yeah.
Or molded material. So jewelry is not made badly today, but it's made in a much lighter fashion to save money for the manufacturer.
What about in terms of craftsmanship, Barry? Does that tend to suffer as generations kind of come and go?
Again, yes and no.
Okay.
Craftsmanship, a lot. It's a hard thing to answer, but a lot of jewelry today is manufactured by machines, or might even be printed on a machine, on a 3D printer. You just don't know, but you must always trust the people and the company you're buying it from.
Yeah. All right. Good advice, of course. And when you talk about estate pieces, watches, vintage diamonds, all that stuff is all available at your place, right? You have a good variety of stuff.
All available. The nicest thing I find about buying anything estate, is you're not going to see the same thing all over the place. You're not going to buy a deco ring and walk out of our store or my store and see somebody else wearing that ring. And you go into one of the mall stores and they're selling these 1 carat total rings for $500, $600, $700, $200, and everybody's buying the same piece of jewelry. So it's unique, it's different. We guarantee every single thing we sell as authentic and a correct metal and correct carat and diamond weight. And we also, just so you know, we also do create contemporary engagement rings by request. And all you have to do is bring us some pictures of things you've liked, and we'll custom design something around your request.
Wow. How nice is that? And, of course, now it's not too early, Barry, to start talking about gift-giving season and things that are happening. So to go to your place and see a great variety right now, why not go and make October the time that you go and do some shopping and get ready for gift-giving season and so many things, of course, that are coming up. And if you stop by today, of course, it is the free evaluation day. And, of course, remember, at National Estate, they make you an offer. They'll never ask you how much you want. Unethical and professional, right, Barry? You would never do that.
That's 100%. That's 100% true. We never do that. Also, this is a great time of year. You mentioned the shopping season.
Yeah.
Leave us a deposit or down payment on something, and you got it for the holidays, and we'll give you the same price we would have right at the holiday sale days.
That's great. Another terrific idea, and another great reason, of course, to go there. Route 18, East Brunswick, next to FedEx office, 732-257-GOLD, or check them out online at topprices4gold.com. It's topprices4gold.com. Barry Blank, always a pleasure. Thanks for being on What's It Worth, and we'll talk again next Tuesday, okay?
Talk to you next week.